Daly Cherry Evans, signing with the Roosters for the 2026 season with a player option for 27 should he decide to continue his career or not. We're not sure of the financials. I haven't seen any solid reports of money. So I'm not sure on how much he's going to be earning, although it's the Roosters. The Roosters would probably do what the Roosters do and give him quite a bit of cash. He was already on quite a bit of cash at Manly, so I can't really see him leaving that for much of a pay cut, if a pay cut at all. He may have even gone up in pay, considering it's only 1 year. And the Roosters always seem to have plenty of cash lying around, whether that's above the table or below the table. There's a few questions that then arise after this signing, one of them being, does he wear the 6 or the 7? Sam Walker played incredibly well last season, returning from injury. Although it was only a third of the season, he still showed not only Roosters but the whole entire league that he's a premier half, and he does his best work in the 7. Roosters also put a large investment into Sam. They stuck with him through other halves, through injuries, giving him the 7 when he was available and fit as well over other players. So Sam can play 6, but you would like to see the club back him again and keep him at 7. But then you have another question is, did the Roosters bring him over to play 5'8"? Who knows? We don't know how this is going to play out. I assume the Roosters will probably figure it out in the preseason training and then in the preseason games. They'll probably find what their best combination works. I can see DCE going into that role the exact same way that Luke Brooks did, playing 7 at West, coming over to Manly to fill that 6 void, and he's done quite a good job alongside Daly Cherry Evans, who is more of a 7. But I could see DCE doing the same thing, sliding into that 6, that second receiver role, letting Sam Walker continue his development as a true 7, continue his development, leading the Roosters around the park, and just learning off DCE as DCE kind of takes that step back in terms of leadership and in terms of running the show on the field. I can see him taking that step back for Sam, and I would actually like to see that. It would show a lot of self-awareness and selflessness from DCE. It would also show that the Roosters are staying true to Sammy, and they're backing him 100%, which also would give Sam even more confidence to then play well for the Roosters. So it's a win-win if you put DCE in the 6 and Sammy, keep him in the 7. It's a win-win for kind of both parties should DCE be open to that step back. Another question. What does it mean for my man Hugo Savala? If you've been listening to me, then you know how high I am on Hugo. I had the opinion that he should have won Rookie of the Year. I think what he did was more valuable for the Roosters in terms of in compared to other rookies. Not taking anything away from the rookies that were really high up on the list last year, but I just believe that Hugo played such a vital role and performed at a high level immediately. I loved what he did for the Roosters, working alongside Sandon Smith and Sam Walker. So it's understandable. It's Daly Cherry Evans. He has so many accolades. He's achieved so much in the game. He brings so much experience and leadership to the club. Although his best days are behind him, he still can play some good football. So Hugo's just the less capped, younger, less experienced player that just naturally is going to be cast into the shadows a little bit by this situation. Now, before I go more into this, I will say, and I did say this last week, but I do disagree with this signing. I think the Roosters should have continued the development and continued to gain experience with this combination of Savala in the 6, Sammy in the 7. Hugo is a true 7, but he can develop and further fill the role of the 6, and I could still see with further development of this combination, success. I could still see success brewing. They still made the finals after a rocky opening start to last season. They still made the finals, and they were still really competitive and exciting to watch. They had points in them, and a lot of that was because of what Hugo and Sammy could execute on the park. So I do disagree that signing DCE, for 1 year, I don't think that gives the Roosters a 10x chance to win a premiership. It might increase their odds slightly for one season, but I don't think that's worth blowing up this working combination. A combination that's still young, still developing, still in its infancy, that I then think further down the line in a year or two could have bred major success. Consistent finals trips, consistent deep finals experience, minor premierships, grand final appearances. I think that they had that in them. So I do disagree with this, but nevertheless, it has occurred. Deals have been done. He's in Bondi. So now it's just what are the ramifications of DCE moving into the halves? For Sydney, I love the way Hugo plays. He showed last season that he has the absolute ability to start in the NRL for a team. What do we do with him? Now, I did see Chad Townsend suggest maybe move him to lock or for Hugo to come off the bench. I think lock would be quite interesting. He is a big body. He's quite a big half. And physically, he is quite developed already for a young player with room to still continue that physical development in the next couple of seasons. Lock would be interesting, but they already have Radley and Nafahu White, who are better players than him, no matter what position. So what it means is he may look for another home, which would be upsetting to see, particularly for me, but understandable at the same time. He's 23. He's proven himself. There would be a market for him. There's not a lot of good halves around, particularly ones that are young, proven, and ascending. So he's got leverage. Hopefully he has a good manager. If he wants out, it's understandable, and he would find himself a new home, and probably could find himself a good deal too for a young bloke. Would he consider New South Wales Cup, 20 minutes a game off the bench for the Roosters for a year, possibly 2 years? Depends on the type of bloke he is. Depends on his support network around him and what they're saying. I don't know him. I haven't heard a lot of interviews with him, so I can't speak on where his mentality is in terms of that, whether he's open to sitting and then putting his career kind of on pause almost, and then, going straight back into that role once DC's retired or moved on, or whether he's very keen, ready to go be a halfback or a 5'8" somewhere else and just continue his progression on the field as a starting half. I can't speak to where he is on that. But like I said, either way, it's understandable. Either way, I'm still a fan. I think he's got many fans out there that do see the potential in this kid. Do the Roosters increase their chances to win a grand final with Daly Cherry Evans? I would say yes, but yes, but man, does DCE have to play the right type of role alongside Sam Walker. Sam Walker he's so creative. He's so creative. We saw that last season. We saw what he can do off the cuff. Second phase footy, we saw what he can do. So you don't want to take too much ball out of his hands. So DCE needs to play the right type of role for success to be seen for the Roosters for this signing to be worth it. But nevertheless, can I see maybe they win that elimination game that they lost last season? Maybe they could win that game with DCE and get to the next week in finals footy. But anything past that, I can't see that much value being brought to the club by DCE in terms of winning those extra games at the end of the season. The value I can see is nurturing, mentoring, leading Sam Walker and Hugo if Hugo decides to stay. That can be invaluable, but that's not going to be seen by us, by broadcasters, the Roosters, in a year, 2 years' time, when you can start to see that come out in their game. But nevertheless, it is done. He is in Bondi. He is wearing the navy red and white for 2026 and potentially beyond. So we'll see. It creates more interest in the Roosters. I already love watching them play because they are so exciting in attack. So this only adds to that interest and to the entertainment of the NRL. So it is positive, but there also may be some negative consequences for certain players, depending on how the rest of this offseason navigates itself.